People might remember this scene from the Ellen DeGeneres show featuring guest Sandra Bullock.
Ellen adds on something really creepy at the end. Let me know what you guys think.
Explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of.
Now, it's not actually into your pores, it's into the dermal layer of skin, but, and maybe even into the muscle. I don't know very much about microneedling. Before I continue, I want to remind people, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare provider of any kind. I'm not an MD, not an ND, not a DO, not an RN, not an LPN, not a nutritionist, not a dietitian. This video does not constitute any type of medical advice. If you have a medical condition, seek help from a licensed provider, and we're going to move on here.
Skin that came from a young person. Far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
You need to see this. Sandra Bullock explains.
Now, I've always found it humorous that people, they'll do all these crazy things to try and stay young, but they never do what they're supposed to, which is eat right, exercise, and supplement with megavitamin therapy and mega mineral therapy because of the, the triage theory of aging and disease. But what exactly is the baby foreskin facial, and does it really come from actual babies? There are bizarre celebrity beauty trends, and then there are bizarre celebrity beauty trends. Between Kim Kardashian's vampire facials, Victoria Beckham's nightingale poo facials, and Gwyneth Paltrow's bee venom facials, you'd think you've heard them all. Now, what's funny about that, I think Botox is pretty crazy too. Compare Botox, which is botulism, to bee venom. I would say that Botox is pretty crazy also. I wouldn't be putting any Botox in my face anytime soon. Until you hear about the foreskin facial, the internet went into overdrive when Kate Beckinsale became the latest celebrity to try the treatment that has also been dubbed the penis facial. Blah, blah, blah. Besides that, okay. Sandra Bullock did a facialist. Okay. And trying to explain the somewhat controversial procedure, Lewis reiterates that while the EGF is derived from newborn baby foreskin, it is the cells that were used. Okay, so it's only the cells that were used, and from that, new cells are cloned. So it's kind of like stem cell therapy. Okay, is what it really is. So let's be honest. This is essentially they're using cells. It's a cell therapy. It's not necessarily a foreskin facial. This is like when people say that branched chain amino acids are duck feathers. My question is, does it really work? Does Sandra Bullock really look that amazing? Probably she could look more amazing if she did other things. This is from The Guardian. This is about this person tried the foreskin facial, so you didn't have to. You can read this on your own. Well, first thing that we should be asking ourselves is, how do we promote stem cell proliferation? Well, number one, intermittent fasting and caloric restriction increases stem cell proliferation. 2, reduce your triglycerides. 3, exercise boosts stem cell activities. So this is essentially, let's do what we're supposed to do. Intermittent fasting and caloric restriction, not eating too much, increases stem cell proliferation. Reduce your triglycerides, so eating the correct foods and moving around a bit more helps. Exercise boosts stem cell activity. In particular, aerobic exercise has been proven to help stem cells turn into bone instead of fat. Reduce sugar consumption. Support healthy inflammation pathways. Stem cell supplementation. There are two main cases to okay, so okay. Vitamin D3, resveratrol, curcumin. These are different supplements that help. So vitamin D3, resveratrol, and also pterostilbene and quercetin, etc. Curcumin. I'm going to get more into that in a couple minutes. Of course, reduce your alcohol consumption. So basically do what you're supposed to do to help promote stem cell proliferation. So people know that quercetin is one of my favorite molecules. Okay, so it stimulates glycolytic metabolism and promotes reprogramming of somatic cells, enhances reprogramming of human primary somatic cells to induce pluripotent stem cells. So it helps to create pluripotent stem cells. And I do highly recommend people read Morgan Levine's book it's called True Age, and it talks about this subject, not about the supplements, but it does talk about pluripotent stem cells. It helps with cancer, it helps induce hypoxia, inducible factor, blah, 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 promotes apoptosis of glioblastoma cells when used together with with a cancer drug, reduces, Okay, it's good against brain tumors, stem cells, cancer cells, so okay, application, reprogramming, area of interest, cancer, disease, blah, 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 protocols, blah, 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 quercetin. So let's move on here. Quercetin promotes human epidermal stem cell proliferation through the estrogen receptor beta-catenin, whatever. Okay, skin epidermal stem cells play an important role in wound healing. Quercetin is a phytoestrogen reported to accelerate skin wound healing, but its effect, blah blah blah, is unknown. This study, yada yada yada. Okay. Quercetin stimulates epidermal stem cell proliferation in human skin tissue. They further examine the effect of quercetin on the proliferation of epidermal stem cells in human skin tissue by culturing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, quercetin induces human epidermal stem cell proliferation through upregulating the beta-catenin, whatever. As previous studies have shown, the beta-catenin, Okay, quercetin promotes human epidermal stem cell proliferation through ER. Let's see what ER1 antagonist, blah, blah, blah. Discussion. In the current study, we found that quercetin promoted the proliferation of epidermal stem cells in culture and in skin explants. So in a petri dish, it does that. Mechanistic study revealed that quercetin induced epidermal stem cell proliferation through ER-mediated upregulation of beta-catenin and whatever and cyclin. This has to do with what Dr. Kaufman, if you read the Kaufman protocol, this has to do with what Dr. Kaufman calls pathways. You should read the Kaufman protocol and Dr. Kaufman's the Kaufman protocol solutions. It's very important that you read these books. These are books that help to let you gain the knowledge necessary to implement some of these things. Quercetin is a phytoestrogen that possesses estrogenic activity. It has been reported to promote and trigger activation of estrogen response element containing cells. Okay, okay. So people might remember Dr. William Lee from the TED Talk, Eat to Starve Cancer. If you haven't watched that, I recommend that you watch Dr. Lee's TED Talk, which is Eat to Starve Cancer. So chocolate or cocoa helps to help with stem cell functioning. So cacao versus cocoa, what is the difference? You have likely blah 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 Cocoa, in my opinion, the terminology should not matter nearly as much as the ingredient list and flavonoid levels. Okay, health benefits of cocoa. Researchers at the University of California, Davis determined that the bioactives called procyanidins in cocoa have potent anti-angiogenic effects, meaning they help to prevent the proliferation of out-of-control blood vessels. Cacao has also been shown to improve stem cell function at the University of California, San Francisco. Researchers explored whether a chocolate drink made with cocoa containing high levels of flavonols could influence stem cells and blood vessel health. Participants who drank the high flavanol beverage had twice as many stem cells in their circulation compared. So keep this in mind. Participants who drank the high flavanol cocoa beverage had twice as many stem cells in their circulation compared to the people who drank the low flavanol cocoa, showing that the more flavanols contained in the product, the more stem cell benefits it boosts. Okay? So people are wondering, what do you do? What do you do instead of a foreskin facial? This is one of the things that you do, and it does a lot more than help your face. Cacao also positively impacts the gut microbiome. Study, one of the authors I really strongly recommend people read if they're so worried about their facial appearance is Dr. Nicholas Perricone. Read all of his books, but most specifically his first book, The Wrinkle Cure. A study conducted by Louisiana State University researchers found that fiber in cacao feeds healthy gut bacteria. Okay? These beneficial bacteria, and this is the thing, I used to take probiotics until I realized that probiotics might cause dysbiosis. It's much better to properly feed your gut bacteria, and you can do that with things like cocoa and other high fiber foods. Why is dark chocolate the healthy option? Okay, dark chocolate, lighter versions. I don't use chocolate. I use cocoa. Okay, I use a cocoa beverage because there's no point in wasting my money on expensive dark chocolate. How to up your cocoa intake? Several ways. Blah blah blah. Ingredients. I would just make cocoa. Take 16 ounces of water. Put 3 tablespoons of cocoa in it. Mix it up with an artificial sweetener, okay? Boom, cocoa. It's not that hard. But yeah, the water has to be hot, though. Yeah, that's the only caveat there, or the cocoa won't mix. Dietary phytochemical approaches to stem cell regulation. Regulating stem cell fate is critical for regenerative medicine. Dietary phytochemicals modulate stem cell fate via multiple signal pathways. Phytochemicals are promising for stem cell-based therapies. All these people that are flipping out about, anti-nutrients and da-da-da-da-da, phytochemicals, which some of them do actually have anti-nutrient capacities, but these are nutrients. Phytonutrients are also nutrients. What people don't understand is certain nutrients have anti-nutrient capacities. If you take in way too much calcium, at the same time you're taking in iron, you don't absorb the iron properly. It's just known. Like there are certain nutrients can't be taken together. So let's go here. Mammalian tissue regeneration is restricted to the early stages of life and is progressively lost during development due to decreasing regenerative capacities of endogenous stem cells. In adult mammals, only a few organs such as the liver and blood can be fully regenerated after injury. In most other tissues, scar formation or fibrosis is a major consequence of injuries, indicating a loss of regenerative capacity. Endogenous stem cells reside inside specific tissues, and they can self-renewal they can cause self-renewal. I don't know why they didn't put that there. And differentiate into specific cell types. Moreover, endogenous stem cells have the advantage of mitigating risks of rejection and infection compared with exogenous stem cells, meaning instead of getting stem cells from someone else or stem cells that have been taken out and juiced up and put back in, there's less of a chance of rejection or infection because they're inside you already. However, it is not easy to control behaviors of endogenous stem cells due to the limited knowledge, so exogenous stem cells are widely studied for application in tissue repair and regeneration. Nowadays, the stem cells are used alone in clinical trials, proliferation and differentiation. Okay, promoting stem cell for Okay, literature selection. This is they just selected a bunch of literature. This is a meta-analysis in case you don't know. Characters of stem cells, the proliferation and differentiation ability of stem cells are associated with their division. Signaling regulation of cell fate. Multiple signal molecules and pathways are involved in the regulation of stem cell proliferation. Again, this has to do with pathways. Read Dr. Sandra Kaufman's book. Pluripotent stem cells are derived from the inner cell mass of the blastocyte and have a powerful so endogenous stem cells are derived from the inner cell mass of the blastocyte, which is in the bone, and have a powerful system for generating specialized cell types of the human body, which are involved in the modulation of multiple signaling pathways, yada, 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 protect undifferentiated status. Multi-point stem cells, multiple signaling pathways are involved in pluripotent stem cell differentiation to ectodermal, mesodermal, and endodermal fates. The primary multipotent stem cells, including neurostem cells or neural stem cells, blood stem cells, intestinal stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells, derived from the 3 germ layers, can further differentiate into different mature cell types through specific regulation of signaling molecules. Unipotent stem cells. Many kinds of unipotent stem cells are found at stem cell-derived extracellular vesicles. Clinical application of stem cells. So clinical stem cells have a huge potential for wound repair and tissue regeneration. Nowadays, more than 5,000 clinical trials test the effects of multiple types of stem cells, including that's just going over the different types of stem cells that have already been gone over and what they're used for. Dietary phytochemicals inducing stem cell proliferation and differentiation. The phytochemicals, also named natural compounds, can be classified into various categories according to their structure or function. Okay, phenylytic and phytochemicals. Resveratrol. Resveratrol, a type of natural phenol, is produced by several plants such as grapes, blueberries, raspberries, mulberries, and peanuts, as well as Japanese knotweed. It increases the proliferation of bone marrow. Resveratrol enhances self-renewal. Pterostilbene is a little bit better than resveratrol because you can absorb it better. Furthermore, resveratrol promotes the proliferation. Resveratrol has been found to enable stem cells to differentiate into cardiomyocytes, neurons, osteocytes, and pancreatic beta cells. Firstly, resveratrol activates endogenous cardiac stem cells and decreases cardiomyocyte apoptosis in the ischemic myocardium by upregulating, so it helps the heart. Okay, these suggest in further applications to treat cardiovascular diseases. Secondly, resveratrol stimulates osteoblast differentiation, gene expression. Resveratrol pre-treatment inducing mineralization can be used for orthopedic and dental applications. So resveratrol helps with mineralization. So people might say resveratrol is an anti-nutrient. No, resveratrol is a very important phytonutrient that can help with mineralization. It is what Dr. Bruce Ames would call a longevity vitamin. This is a longevity vitamin, a life extension vitamin. Resveratrol induces a differentiation, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay, this is EGCG. Green tea consumption is known to slow the aging process. EGCG, a polyphenolic compound in green tea, increases the number of adult hippocampal stem cells, or neuronal stem cells, so stem cells in the hippocampus, which is associated with the Sonic the Hedgehog signaling pathway. EGCG significantly increases the proliferation of neuronal stem cells and the migration of neuroblasts through AKT signaling. So it helps with the recovery from stroke. Curcumin is a natural phenolic compound. It's found in turmeric, of course. Furthermore, curcumin stimulates the proliferation of neuronal stem cells. Curcumin induces myocardial differentiation, so it helps the heart too. Ferulic acid is a plant constitute in and is contained in several medicinal plants such as blah blah blah. Can increase proliferation, yada yada. This is marine pine bark extract, a polyphenol compound abundant. Oh no, this is in passion fruit. I'm sorry. This is from passion fruit seeds, peanuts, grapes, and wine. It is a structural analog of resveratrol, but having an extra hydroxyl group. Oleuropenin, anthocyanins. These are, of course, very present in berries. Flavonoids, quercetin, which is a widely distributed natural flavonoid in many vegetables and fruits, including grapes, apples, and berries. Quercetin promotes the proliferation of precursor cells, oxygen, glucose deprivation. Quercetin can stimulate differentiation-mediated signaling pathway and not affect . Most of the studies confirm that quercetin can induce osteogenic differentiation with other . Icarnitine is an active compound found in various herbs. Okay, one of the predominant flavonoids. So when epigenin is found in parsley, genistein is found in soy, creatine. You can read this on your own. So these are just the various this is obviously found in berberine. But as you can see, these are very important things. So conclusion, phytochemicals have benefits of being safe. Okay, so note that being safe, affordable, easily acquisition, so you got easy acquisition, convenient to use compared to with biological factors, multiple plant extracts such as phenols, flavonoids, sterols, alkaloids, aldehyde could control stem cell fate. Many bioactive compounds from plants are found to precisely regulate the self-renewal or lineage-specific differentiation of stem cells through different signal pathways. Additionally, phytochemicals may have broad-spectrum benefits by targeting multiple pathways and controlling several types of stem cells. Therefore, the combined application of phytochemicals with stem cells is promising to improve proliferation and linear differentiation, potential stem cells, and offers new avenues. So these are some of the things you can get them for. Resveratrol, this is what you get them from. This is the types of stem cells. I'm not going to go over the types of stem cells. You can read this on your own. Resveratrol can be found in grapes, blueberries, raspberries, mulberries, peanuts. Polydatin, a natural glycosated precursor. Okay, this helps with dental bud stem cells. It's found as a precursor of resveratrol. Obviously, EGCG is only found in green tea. Pacinatanol is found in passion fruit. Berries, seeds, peanuts, grapes, wine. Curcumin is a dietary spice. Ferulic acid, many herbs such as asafoetida. I forgot. That's an ancient herb. This one is found only in olive tree leaves, fruits decay. Okay, that's found in different herbs. That one's found in ginseng, walnut meat, okay, apigenin, vegetable fruits. Now, this could explain quercetin, vegetables and fruits, including grapes, apples, and berries, dry roots, blah, 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 honey, mushroom, As you can see, this might explain some of the major benefits of a vegan diet, okay, because you might not be getting very much of these in a traditional diet, but if you are eating a highly vegetable-centered diet, you're getting a lot of these in a vegan diet. Future perspective, despite the hopeful bioactivity, blah, blah, more research, yada, yada, you know that. Same story all the time. Tirostilbene suppresses both cancer cells and cancer stem cells in cervical cancer, with superior bioavailability to resveratrol. Okay. Tirostilbene exhibited stronger migration inhibitory effect than resveratrol in cervical cancer cells. Okay. Comparison of the cell cycle arrest and apoptosis inducing effects of resveratrol and tirostilbene in cervical cancer cells. You can read this on your own. I just wanted to point out that pterostilbene does seem to be superior, and a lot of this potent inhibitory activity against the growth and migration of cervical cancer, pterostilbene seems to be more bioavailable, is the thing. Why you should take your B complex. Study shows new role for B complex vitamins in promoting stem cell proliferation. Okay. You can read this on your own, but I just wanted to show that, yeah, B vitamins. Remember the triage theory of aging and disease. So folates, particularly folates, can stimulate stem cell proliferation independently of their role as a vitamin. Okay. So that's what you have to understand. So folates, whether supplemental B vitamins or natural folates found in food, are essential for proper functioning of all cells in the body and are critical to prevent birth defects. So keep that in mind, the role of B complex vitamins. Not just folates either, it's other B vitamins as well, such as B12 and, the other B vitamins. You should always, everybody, in my opinion, my uneducated opinion, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, not a dietitian, not a nurse, not a chiropractor, I'm nothing like that, but my uneducated layman's opinion is that probably everybody should at least be taking an over-the-counter multivitamin and on top of that a regular B complex. Tissue engineering therapies based on folic acid and other B vitamin derivatives, functional mechanisms, and current applications in regenerative medicine. You can read this on your own. I'm just pointing this out to show you the importance of B vitamins in the proper function of stem cells. Folic acid for hair, benefits, and how to use it. Okay, hair growth is one of the few perks, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Folic acid for hair. Main benefits: it stimulates hair growth, prevents premature graying, and increases volume and shine in the hair. Who should use it? Anyone dealing with low B vitamin levels, which may result in fatigue, headaches, or pigmentation changes in the hair and fingernails. How often can you use it? You want to meet a daily intake of approximately 400 micrograms per day. If you already have enough folic acid in your blood, a mega dose can result in headaches, blah, 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 blah. Benefits of folic acid for hair growth. Folic acid is a synthetic version of folate, which is a B vitamin, folic acid helps hair growth by generating new cells, prevents premature graying, prevents hair loss. So, recommendations by the CDC for folic acid. All women of reproductive age should get 400 micrograms of folic acid each day, in addition to consuming food with folate from a varied diet to help prevent neural tube defects. Okay? So, the CDC, blah, 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 recurrence prevention. Women who have had neurotube defect affected pregnancies and are planning to become pregnant again should consult with their healthcare provider, and they should take 4 milligrams of folic acid each day, beginning 1 month before becoming pregnant and through the first 3 months of pregnancy. The recommendation to take higher doses of folate is based on data from the most rigorous scientific study involving women who had previous neural tube defect affected births. Folic acid supplementation in patients with elevated homocysteine levels. Okay, so folic acid is the most important dietary determinant of homocysteine. Okay, folic acid supplementation should be recommended to any patient who has an elevated homocysteine level, and this level should be measured and treated at an early age, since folic acid is easily obtained and may likely reduce vascular disease and other deleterious pathogenic processes in high-risk populations. Folic acid deficiency folic acid deficiency in vitro induces DNA instability. It increases it increases genomic instability, which is a sign of aging. It's one of the hallmarks of aging. Folate, genomic stability, and colon cancer, the use of a single gel electrode and assistant. Okay. So intake of vitamin B9 or folate is strongly inversely linked with human cancer risk, particularly colon cancer in general. People with the highest dietary intake of folate or high blood folate levels are at a reduced risk of developing colon cancer. Folate acts in normal cellular metabolism to maintain genomic stability through the provision of nucleotides for DNA replication and DNA repair, and by regulating DNA methylation and gene expression. Folate deficiency can accelerate carcinogenesis by inducing misincorporation of uracil into DNA, by increasing DNA strand breakage, by inhibiting DNA base excision repair capacity. So it screws up your DNA's ability to replicate properly. Conversely, increasing folate intake may improve genomic stability. Increasing folate intake may improve genomic stability. The review describes key applications. Now remember, genomic instability is what? A hallmark of aging. In human cells, in vitro, in rodent models, and human case control and intervention studies, it highlights an adaptation to okay. There had been some scare research done that folate may cause increased risk of prostate cancer in some people and things like that. It does not seem to be the case. Folic acid supplementation does not substantially increase or decrease incidence of site-specific cancer during the 5 years of treatment, blah, blah, blah. Okay. There was no increased risk of cancers, including colon, prostate, lung, and breast, attributed to folate. So keep that in mind. There's no increased risk. However, this study shows there's no increased risk, but there are many studies showing that, there's decreased risk of various cancers when you take folic acid, which plays an important role in genomic stability. And you have to understand, when you take folate, you're taking it in micrograms. These things use doses as high as 40 milligrams. Milligrams, not micrograms, milligrams a day. Now, I want you to learn everything you can about Bruce Ames and the triage theory of aging and disease. 5 vitamins to add to your diet for healthy skin. Vitamin D. Oh, it has to load. So vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, blah, blah, blah. However, blah, blah, blah. Vitamin C. Vitamin C helps with collagen, blah, blah, blah. Vitamin A. I particularly would recommend that you get vitamin A from beta-carotene. Why from beta-carotene? Why not animal products? Well, the reason why is because if you're getting it from animal products, you run the risk of getting too much vitamin A, whereas if you get it from sources such as carrots and whatnot, carrots and broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts and green leafy vegetables and squash and all that, you don't run the risk of getting too much. And if you do, the worst that'll happen is you'll turn orange. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Remember to take some vitamin E. Beta-carotene,